The galaxy had known peace for centuries, a peace forged through alliances and treaties between species. It was a time where interstellar conflicts had become a relic of the past, and the great powers of the universe had learned to work together for the betterment of all. But peace, as it often does, had bred complacency, and when the unexpected arrived, no one knew how to handle it. The Pratheri were an ancient species, one whose history stretched back millennia. They were powerful, intelligent, and had seen the rise and fall of countless civilizations. Their technology was beyond comprehension, their cities spanning across multiple star systems, and their minds capable of feats that others could only dream of. The Pratheri had no enemies, no rivals. They had mastered the art of diplomacy, and their leadership was respected across the galaxy. But even the Pratheri were not prepared for the arrival of the unknown. It came without warning, a force from beyond the galactic fringe, something none of the known species had ever encountered. It was not a warship, not a fleet of invaders, nor a species seeking to conquer. No, it was something far worse, an unnatural, incomprehensible force that twisted the very fabric of reality itself. The Pratheri had tried everything: diplomacy, espionage, and their vast fleets. Nothing worked. The enemy was not physical. It was not something that could be fought in the traditional sense. It was a force that consumed worlds, shattered minds, and warped time and space. And so the Pratheri did what they had never done before. They turned to the humans. The humans were a young species, unassuming in their rise to galactic prominence. They had only recently begun to explore the stars, with their technology far less advanced than that of the Pratheri or any of the older species. However, there was one thing the Pratheri had learned in their long, storied existence. Humans were unpredictable. They were relentless, driven by instincts and emotions that defied logic and reason. They were capable of greatness, but also capable of unimaginable destruction. For centuries, the humans had been in cryogenic sleep, their fate uncertain. The Pratheri had put them into stasis long ago, believing that humanity's potential was too dangerous to be left unchecked. But now, with the universe teetering on the brink of annihilation, they saw no other choice. They had to wake the humans. A single Pratheri ambassador, the only one who had the courage to face the unknown, stood before the Cryo chambers, the massive facility, hidden on a remote world far from the galactic center, hummed with power as the reactivation sequence began. The chamber doors slid open with a soft hiss, revealing rows upon rows of dormant humans, each one frozen in time. The ambassador's eyes, glowing faintly in the dim light, scanned the rows of stasis pods. He had hoped never to do this, but the situation had left them no choice. He turned to his assistants, his voice grave. "Prepare the humans. We will need them to fight." As the process began, one by one, the humans were brought out of cryo sleep. Their bodies were weak from long stasis, but their minds were intact, filled with the untapped potential that had made them so dangerous. When the first human awoke, his eyes blinked open, confused and disoriented. The Pratheri ambassador stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Welcome back, human. You have been chosen to save the galaxy." The human sat up, looking around at the unfamiliar surroundings. He was in a sterile room surrounded by strange beings who looked nothing like the humans he knew. Its hand instinctively went to his sidearm, but it was gone. "Where am I?" he asked, his voice hoarse. "You are on a world far from your own," the ambassador explained. "You are here because we need you. The galaxy is under threat, and you are the only ones capable of saving it." The human blinked, trying to process the information. What kind of threat? And why us? The ambassador hesitated for a moment, his mind racing. The enemy is not something you can understand. It is a force that transcends everything we know. It cannot be reasoned with, and it cannot be fought with conventional weapons. But you, humans, are different. Your minds are chaotic, unpredictable, and you have a deep well of potential within you. That is why we woke you. Only you can stop this. The human's eyes narrowed. "And what do we get in return for saving your galaxy?" The ambassador hesitated, but then, realizing the gravity of the situation, he answered, "The future of your species, the power to shape your own destiny. If you succeed, you will no longer be bound by the chains of the past. The galaxy will be yours to command." The human stood, his body trembling from the cold, but his spirit burning with something much stronger. "You woke us for this?" he asked, his voice sharp. "You think you can control us? That we'll just fight your war for you." The ambassador nodded, his voice unwavering. "We have no choice. We are out of options." The human looked at him for a long moment, then turned away. "Then we'll fight. But don't expect us to play by your rules." And so, humanity entered the fray. The Praethari watched in awe as the humans began to adapt to the task ahead. They learned quickly, tapping into a well of strength that had been dormant for too long. They were wild, fierce, and unpredictable. But that was exactly what the galaxy needed. When the enemy finally arrived, the Praethari were ready, but it was the humans who led the charge. With their raw determination, their refusal to bow to logic, and their ability to adapt to any situation, the humans proved to be the key that would tip the balance. The galaxy watched in amazement as humanity, the most unassuming of species, took on the unimaginable. They were no longer just a species in cryo sleep. They were the galaxy's last hope, that they would stop at nothing to save it. And so, the Praethari learned a lesson they would never forget. Sometimes, the galaxy's greatest strength lies in the most unpredictable of forces. The humans had woken, and with them, a new era was born.